Well, happy new year to real estate investors here in Colorado. I'm Mark Cunningham with Grace Property Management. This is the first video that we put in place for 2023. Once a month we come out with an educational video, not just for our owner clients that we work with at Grace Property Management, but for all rental investors in Colorado, for tenants in Colorado. We have a lot of residents and tenants that watch these videos. We believe when property management is done properly, that landlords can be successful and tenants can be successful, that it should not be an adversarial relationship, but that everybody can truly win together under real estate in Colorado. So we want to bring an important update to your attention as it relates to the Denver rental licensing requirement. As you may recall, about a year ago, the County of Denver put in place a new licensing requirement for all landlords that own rental property in the County of Denver. And there's an important new impact of this law that we want to share with you as well. Now, it's important to note this is only for Denver County rental properties. If you own a property outside of Denver County, this does not apply to you. Now, some properties may have a Denver County location but be a different city, still applies to you. Other properties may be a Denver City address, but a different county does not apply to you. Only Denver County rental properties that this licensing requirement applies to. Now, we fully expect this licensing concept to be adopted by other counties. Boulder County currently has it in place. Some cities have it in place on a differing level. So we would expect over the coming years that this will become more and more common in many, many counties around Colorado. But thus far, this only applies to Denver County that we're talking about here. So as of now, as of January 1st, 2023, all multifamily properties must have a license, a rental license. You've had a year. The County of Denver has given us, as real estate investors and as landlords, the last 12 months to get our properties licensed, to get our properties registered. We had to go through an inspection process, but that is a requirement now. So if you have a property that is multifamily, and multifamily is considered anything with more than one unit. So if it's a duplex, or maybe you own two condos in one complex, maybe it's a fourplex, anything more than a single family house is required by law to hold a license right now in Colorado if you're going to be renting out this property. If you haven't done that, you need to get on board with that. Now, if you're a client of ours, don't worry, we've got you taken care of. We've got all of our multifamily properties registered and licensed with the County of Denver. If you haven't done that though, make sure that you go to the Denver County's website. We'll put a link in that. Get that registration process going. Now, part of that registration process requires that your property must be inspected. You can't just go online, register your property, and get the approved licensing. To get licensed, you must have a third-party inspector, and these third-party inspection companies have to be registered with the state. So you can't just pick some little handy person to go out and do an inspection. It has to be a registered licensed inspection company. They will go out to the property, they do a full-blown inspection, they have a report of specific things that they're looking for. This information is prepared by Denver County, and we feel it's a pretty fair assessment to ensure that the property meets minimum habitability standards. Now, the state of Colorado already has minimum habitability standards in place, so the Denver County sits on top of that. There's some additional habitability aspects that your property must pass in order to ensure it meets habitability. The one that always comes up is it's required to have fire extinguishers. Your property must have a fire extinguisher installed in order to pass the rental licensing inspection. Here's the new thing that the County of Denver just recently announced, and that is this. They said that landlords must post their property license number, or their landlord license number more accurately, in any advertising for the vacant property. So the County of Denver is trying to figure out how do we patrol this? How do we enforce this? How do we check to make sure that landlords actually got the licensing? And there's a number of different potential ways to do this. This makes a lot of sense, because what the Denver County is saying now is anytime we see a property listed for rent in any advertising form, if it's on a website, if it's on a newspaper, if you're still doing newspaper advertising, wherever it is, it has to have the license number in the advertising. County of Denver says that way we, county, can go in and confirm that that property is properly licensed. So if they see a property listed for rent and there's not a license number, they're going to go in, look it up, see if that property is licensed. If it is, they're going to tell the person that they have to make sure they put the license number and penalize them for that. But if it's not, that's the trigger for Denver County to say, here's a rental property that has not been licensed, which makes it illegal to rent. It is illegal to rent your property in Denver County without this license in place. So these are some important things. We expect this to continue to meld and change a little bit. Overall, I will say we as a property management company that manage companies in Denver County have been very impressed with Denver County's property process in this. We really have. Denver County has been very prompt in communication. They have been very prompt in helping solve problems. This is a new program, and anytime you expect a new program just to kick off, you expect some headaches and hassles and speed bumps, and there have been a few, but we have to give compliments to Denver County. They have put this program in place, we feel, very well. They're very responsive. They're very much helping landlords get it right, which is what it should be. Helping landlords get it right to protect the tenants in those properties. If we can be a resource for you, feel free to go to our website, rentgrace.com. Every month, we put out an updated video on some aspect helping you as a landlord ensure that you're successful in your property management. If you're a client of ours, we've already got this in place for you. If you're not a client of Grace Property Management, we're happy to be a resource. Visit our website. Happy to help if we can. Until next month, we wish you success.